Moving on to questions?
Yeah.
Shall we?
Moving on.
All right,
Question number one. You want it?
audio people only. Welcome. We're
Podcast exclusive
Yeah,
now.
podcast exclusive essentially. So what we're doing is we're pulling some of these questions out as individual videos that we can use around social and YouTube and other things. But on the audio version, which is what you're hearing now, you get to listen to the whole thing all the way through. So let's start out with question one, Zach. Shall we?
Chit Talk says, curious to hear your thoughts on the Throne starter deck announcement. Personally, I think this is a super exciting way to give casual players or crossover tabletop players a peek at LCGs, which are often viewed as intimidating commitments.
100%. This was an incredible announcement.
So if you're not aware, FFG earlier this week posted their starter Thrones deck announcement. I think it's something we've talked about a few times on the podcast, but basically there's a deck for each house.
Yep.
$15. So you choose Targaryen, Lannister, Stark, whatever, and it's a ready-to-play deck. Ready to go.
Perfect.
So you walk into the store.
Absolutely perfect.
Someone's there playing Thrones. You're like, oh, I'm interested.
What house do you like?
$15. Here's a deck. I mean, it's a phenomenal entry point, right? You cut out. I don't need court. Like, think about a normal process, right? Show up. It's like, okay, maybe you know someone, or the store has demo decks, right? Let's just walk you through really quick. You know someone, or there's demo decks or whatever. You learn how to play. Like, oh, that was great. It's like, what do I do to start? And it's like, well, buy 3 of the core set, buy these 2 deluxe boxes and these 6 packs. Then open all of that and organize it.
Buy a box to organize it, because you got to have somewhere to put the cards.
Yep. And then at that point, you can build a deck, or you can go online and find one and copy it. And then you're going to proceed to get hammered for 6 months at Thrones. But what we can do here is with a single deck, right? It's pre-built. You buy a single thing, you open it, you can start playing within 2 minutes. It's the classic Christmas Day test, right? It's like you get this as a gift, and it's like you can be playing within minutes. Even 2 new players, you buy 2 decks, right? Show up, sit down, start playing. And that's just so much easier.
How good are the decks, ultimately?
I don't know. I haven't seen them. They haven't posted them.
Do we know where all the cards are coming from?
I think the cards all come from the core set, the first 2 cycles of the game, and the deluxe boxes.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I would love to see them do this like once a year. Or like once you run out of the target deck, it's like we're going to reprint and there's going to be new cards in it from the next cycle.
Yeah.
I think the opportunities for them that they maybe missed on it, if we're going to go full feedback here.
About a year late.
It's about 2 years too late, in my opinion. Also, why? This is going to blow minds. Why have a core set when you could just literally have 8 starter decks that start the game? Guess what? The price of 8 starter decks is $120.
Yeah.
So you could literally just have packaged the core set in 8 decks.
But how do you get that big old rule book and cardboard token sheet in there?
Put it on the web.
Put it on the internet, dude. Just get it out of here.
Put it on the web, send them to stores.
That's it's just like,
You could fit a little rule book, like
Yeah,
fold it up.
We've played that game.
And if you can't, keep working on the game.
Yeah, actually, hey, that's the better thing. That's great. If you can't fit it inside of a single little pack, you need to start over. But no, I think it's a great product, and they actually also announced the tangentially the Rookery event. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't at all.
So it's a new format for Thrones. Again, 2 years too late. Where there's a sideboard where you have it's 10 or 12 or 14. It can be cards or plots. You see your opponent's house and agenda, and you can switch out any number of those cards right before the game starts.
Oh, I like that.
And it's a new format, and they're doing it great. This is the best thing I've seen for Thrones, which is they're having a launch event with a launch kit with like a full bleed card that you get for playing, right? And there's the 4 off houses. So the main houses are like Stark.
Like Aaron and all those weird ones?
No, it's like Tyrell, Martell, Greyjoy.
Okay.
Don't
call my house an off house.
It is.
Not an off house.
But basically, to play in this
If it
event...
wasn't an off house, you wouldn't be playing.
That's right. That's right. To play, that's completely correct. Don't call me on that. To play in this event, you either have to, that's got to be your main house, or you have to have one of the other 4 with fealty to one of those houses.
Okay.
But the top player from each of those 4 gets a token set that matches that house. There's also top 4 players of each get a special like full bleed thing that is only for that player. But it's this really cool event they're using to support this alternate format of playing a game that's not just the typical build your deck and come get killed.
Yeah, organized play is wrecking it all of a sudden.
What from nowhere, from
happened?
downtown,
That is from
just
downtown.
from half court.
So this is great, but like, it is a little late. But I think it has the potential to do something. Could it move the needle on Thrones ultimately?
If anything is going to, this is it. Because I'll tell you this is what's crazy. Again, we talked about last week on the miniature wargaming episode about the lean back, kind of enjoying it more. like the idea of being able to show up, pay $15 for my target deck, and play. And like,
Don't have to keep
I would
up.
love a format that is just, that's it. You don't get to customize it. Like, remove all the shenanigans. And it's just like, man, I would be 10 times more likely to show up to that.
Well, it's
Same thing with
especially-
Netrunner. Like, why aren't we getting
I know,
that?
right? Well, we probably are, or maybe would, or
Crossing
we're going
our
to look
fingers.
at how well Thrones does
Well, why
before
test
making
it
that
on
decision.
that? Come on, give me some heat here.
Dude, what else would you test it on though? Because we have Destiny. I mean, Thrones is next in line. L5R is trying to do its own thing.
I'm going for it. We're on audio only. I don't care how
Bring
long
it
this
on.
goes.
Bring it on.
So the other
Until
thing
this
is,
goes to YouTube.
that's right. Well, I guess it's going to be its own thing. That'll be Ben's problem. But on Destiny, what I don't get, riddle me this, and I'd love to hear comments on this about this.
Bring the heat.
The character starters and the two-player starter, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's say the character starters as an example. Boba Fett character starter. Cool, I want to play. It's like you buy it, and it's like, hey, it's in quite a legal deck.
Not quite.
It's like, what are you doing? Give me 6 more cards, and this is a deck that can play, and it's a format. It's like if you put enough of these decks out, and it's like you can only play a starter
You know,
deck.
a little like Boba Fett with a couple dice. Oh, it'd be
We
great.
already talked through the every time we come at it from a purely player-based perspective, we're missing something, right? So
That's-
there's got to be a reason
I'll tell you what.
that those decks were less than 30.
It's probably because it messes with the whatever equation they're using to price their products. It's like if we put 3 more dice in there, this is going to have to be a $19.99 product and
Yeah.
not $14.99, and
Yeah.
we want a really cheap product to get in. But like,
Just put it at $19.99.
I know.
Put it in the tea, for goodness sakes. I mean, you go out to
Put it in the
eat. You go out to
tea.
eat these days. You're spending $50, $60 for 2 people, like
Yeah.
without even blinking an eye.
Yeah.
Arby's didn't even have the 5 for 5.
Yeah, no,
anymore.
I think I spent
that's a
$10 at
travesty.
McDonald's the other day. I spent $7 on breakfast at
Why are you
McDonald's.
eating at McDonald's? You talk about counting your calories.
wait a second. Okay, all right. So to end this question, thoughts on the Throne starter deck? I love it.
Absolutely love it. This is so hopeful.
Please,
Promise.
More,
lean
please.
into it. Keep doing this kind of a thing, and I'm excited to see where
Rookery
they go.
event too.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah, that
Great.
sounds great. Everything sounds super exciting.